Recording. Okay. Hey, everyone. So again, welcome to our Challenge 31 orientation. My name is Victoria, or Coach Tori, and I lead our challenges here at the studio. So super excited to have y'all here today. We'll try to keep this pretty short, maybe about 20 minutes. If you have any questions at all, feel free to unmute yourself at any time, or at the end, we have like an open mic for questions. But we're going to go ahead and get started just so that we can keep it on a good time today. All right, so Challenge 31, our schedule, we're gonna go through some introductions. We'll go through reviewing our challenge phases, the challenge app, reviewing challenge requirements, and then we'll have an open mic at the end. Okay, guys, so our 45-day challenge starts on March 29th, which is Monday, and it runs until May 12th. So it's the full 45 days. That's about 6 weeks. So it's broken down into a couple different phases, but we're going to look at it as 6 weeks here. So we'll be tracking you guys, checking in with you every Sunday. This is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've done it through phases, but we're going to try something new and just go through weeks this time. Going on to our next phase here, I want to see, let's see, Ashley is not here right now. But you guys might know her if you're one of our in-studio members here. But I wanted to do a quick introduction of myself. Again, if you came in a few minutes ago, my name is Victoria, and I lead our challenges here at the studio. I've been leading the challenges for about, how long? Like two years now, a year and a half or so. And I love leading people through them. I think it's so much fun. It's always a good time because you see so many transformative stories, and it's great to be a part of like leading the charge on the transformations in people's lives. So I've been a trainer at F45 Culver City for almost 2 years, and then now I just do completely back end. I do the social media and the challenge. So if you're ever on Instagram, odds are you're talking to me. And then Ashley there, she's going to be our other challenge captain. Ashley, if you guys are in the studio, you know Ashley. She's always and she's always running around class and in the studio, and she coaches there probably every single day. So I have both of our emails there if you guys ever have any questions, but my email will be probably the main one that you guys use the most. So if you want to write it down or take a picture of it, now is probably. Oh. Anchi, I'm gonna mute you. All right. So this time we are super excited to be doing 2 teams. So we'll be doing one team, which I'll be leading, and then another team that Ashley is leading. And my team will be called Team Burpee. So I'm super excited to have y'all for Team Burpee. We'll be letting you guys know your team assignments later today or tomorrow. And then Ashley's team name is still up in the air. She isn't sure if she's going to be Team Bear Crawl or Team Gorilla Bound. We're not sure yet, but if you're on Team Ashley, you guys might have to help her pick the name. A few other introductions here, some people that you'll see throughout the challenge. We've got Gabby. She's our in-house nutritionist. I also have her email down there for y'all. Gabby has been working with our challenges way before I have. She's the one who kind of plugs in all of the nutrition, the great nutrition advice and guidance that you see in our newsletters and that you see in our group me's. If you do a body consultation, odds are you've spoken to Gabby. You've probably talked with her. She's given you some good nutrition advice. She also runs our challenge nutrition package program. So if you're interested in a higher level of nutrition guidance, she's going to be your gal. And then secondly, we have Molly here. Molly is our F45 liaison. She kind of goes back and forth between being in studio and an F45 live. So if you guys are an F45 live member and you're doing the challenge, you might hear a little bit more from Molly and get a little bit more check-ins from her. Ooh. All right, moving right on through here, I want to take a brief moment to shout out our Challenge 30 winners. I don't know if I see any of them on here right now, but I know they're doing the challenge again. Our Challenge 30 winners, we've got Ashley McGinnis, Lisa Zelnak, Maggie Kayas, and Patrick Mochia. That was two. Lisa and Maggie are both our F45 Live winners, and Ashley and Patrick are F45 Studio winners. So if you see those folks in studio and you want to ask them for any advice, any tips on how they kind of did well with Challenge 30, I really recommend it. We put up a little Instagram story of Ashley the other day. So if you're interested in reading more about her story, go check out our Instagram page. All right, moving right along, guys. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit more information about the specific challenge breakdown. So if you're new to the challenge, I know some of you guys are, our challenge is broken down into 45 days of 4 phases. So each phase has a directed focus and a challenge, but all in all, the phases are pretty holistic. We try not to say, don't eat this during phase 1, don't eat this. Like, we try to not make it restrictive. We try to just say, hey, these are the phases, this is what we want you to be focusing on, and this is what we want you basically to like direct your learning towards. So if you look at phase 1 here on this graph, phase 1 is called spring training. It's 10 days. All the first 3 phases are 10 days. Spring training is the first 10 days of the challenge, which is they're always kind of a doozy because you're trying to figure out what you should be eating, how much, what types of food, trying to get into that schedule, when you're working out, when you're eating, how many meals you're eating, that caloric breakdown. So spring training is basically the building blocks of your challenge. So we always like to use this as a time to check in with Gabby. If you're doing her nutrition program, or when you do your body scan in the beginning, you'll get to work with Gabby on talking about your nutrition. Ask her questions about what you should be eating. Try to see, like, based on your basal metabolic rate, how much food you should be eating, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. So phase 1 is all about the building blocks and figuring out what works. So moving into phase 2 is called regular season. It's 10 days as well. Phase 2 is all about macronutrients. So once you've figured out like what food works for you, we want to try to play around with those macronutrients. You've had 10 days of seeing what kind of 10 days of working out and eating right does. And now phase 2 is kind of where you adjust it a little bit. Are you eating enough? Are you eating too much? Do you need more protein, more carbs, more fat? Gabby and I always like to talk about how each person's body is so wildly different. Like, my body, I know it needs more carbs, whereas Gabby thrives off of having more protein. So phase 2 is where we really get to kind of play around with those numbers a little bit and see where we can hit that right balance. Phase 3 is our championship round. That one is also 10 days. It's all focused on micronutrients and minerals and gut health. So all of our topics and all of our information that we share with you guys will be kind of focused on like the inner workings and the inner strength of your body. And we always like to make this phase about recovery as well, because now you're 30 days into the challenge and like you're probably feeling pretty sore. So phase 3 is all about like inside and recovery and gut health. Phase 4 is our World Series, which is 15 days. It's also called the 15-day sprint. You'll see that come up in the social media, like the way that they call it on social media and in the emails. It's World Series or the 15-day sprint. So you're sprinting towards the finish line. It's the last 15 days of the challenge. You take everything you've learned from phase 1, 2, and 3, the macronutrients, and you put it to use. So for a lot of people, these last 15 days are all about just staying committed to finishing the challenge. So just trying to stay on top of what you've been doing for the previous 30 days, and as well as trying to find ways that you can maintain the habits that you've created. It's like the end of the challenge is an exciting time, but there's always that like, well, what next feeling. So in those last 15 days, we want you guys to focus on how you can make it last post-challenge. All right, moving on through. So we are doing something a little new this time. And for anyone who's done the challenge with us in the past, you'll know that we've done these mini challenges. We've done water, sleep, exercise to sweat, and like a checklist at the end. So we're still doing a little form of that, but we're gonna do more of like a weekly wellness check-in. So like I was saying earlier, every Sunday we're gonna mark it. Sunday will be like the end of the week. And we're gonna ask you guys to complete a check-in form or journal. It's a Google form. It's pretty basic. It's just a couple questions, but it's saying like, how are you feeling this week? You know, did you eat enough? How many times did you exercise? Just a really personal check-in where you can kind of write some thoughts about yourself and just stay accountable. That's the one thing that we've kind of learned from running these challenges is it's hard to stay accountable for 45 days. So our goal here is to break it up into 6 chunks and to keep you guys accountable for all 6 with this journal. We are going to do a little bit of a prize situation with this. For anyone who completes all 6 journals, you guys will be entered. You guys will get a prize. So it's a pretty sweet prize. I don't want to tell you what it is yet. We'll announce it when we finalize it in the next couple days. But it will be a pretty cool prize for everyone who gets to finish all the weekly wellness check-ins. So again, those will be emailed out to you guys on Friday, and you'll have until Sunday to finish them. All right, so we'll email it out to you guys. We'll put it in the group me, we'll put it in the email. It'll be everywhere where you can access it, and then you guys have until Sunday to finish it out. Super excited to see how you guys like this time. So moving right along, I want to talk a little bit about our challenge app. So for those that are new, I highly recommend you whip out your phones right now and you guys download the F45 challenge app. It looks a little bit like this if you look on the right side of the screen here. It's a great app. They went ahead and updated it probably about 3 or so challenges ago. It's free access for members, and you just use your MindBody account to log in. But it's fantastic. We'll go through each tab real quick here. But this is also a really great tool if you're just a member, you're not doing the challenge, but you want to do workouts or you want meal plans or recipes. It's kind of great for even the off season of the challenge as well. So the first tab of our little challenge here is the, hold on, my computer froze. One sec, guys, sorry. Technical difficulties as per usual. Backwards. Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. Share screen. Okay, and we're back. Thanks, guys. Okay, so our first one here, I'm gonna go through the little tabs. We have our train tab. So training, if you guys are an online member, you guys are very familiar with this tab, I'm sure. But if you didn't know, it's workouts. You have access to all these F45 workouts, both body weight and weighted. Anytime you want to do them, you just click on the button. It takes you through. It goes along with the same programming for the whole week. So you're doing the same programming that both the F45 Live team and the studio team are doing. You have 2 options between the body weight and weighted, but you can always choose any day of the week. So if you're like feeling like you want a more resistance-based workout, you can do that rather than a cardio one. There's also really great recovery sessions on there. So if you scroll down a little bit, on the app, and you can click recovery, and they take you through like 10 minutes of like stretching sessions. So if you're ever looking for like a really great like materials to stretch, it just takes you through like a 10 or 15 minute long video, and it's super helpful. All right, moving on to our next tab here, we've got our Eat tab. This is one of the most value-packed tabs on the app. So if you click on this, it'll bring you to 3 options here on the left. You've got the order meals, order groceries, and cook at home. So you can choose between ordering meals, the meal service that F45 provides, ordering groceries, or if you click cook at home, it'll take you to like your meal planning, shopping list, recipes, and you can choose whether you want to do mainstream or vegan or vegetarian. They have all these different options, and it takes you through like a day by day schedule. So if you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see like if you click on a tab, it says breakfast, AM snack, lunch. All of those recipes are in the recipe library, and they're also interchangeable. One of the most often questions that one of the questions we get the most often is, can I switch meals? Yes, absolutely. Meals can always be swapped in and out because they're all kind of around the same like caloric range. And one of the new things that they did for this challenge is they did customized meal plans. So we're still playing around with it a little bit, but you're able to input your fitness goals based on your BMR and your body weight, and it tells you like how many calories that you should eat based on what your fitness goals are. So they just rolled this out like in the past couple of days, so I'm super excited to kind of play around with it more and have you guys kind of test it out as well. But that should make it way easier to kind of see what calories you should be eating based on if your goal is to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it may be. Just one more note here on the Eat tab. It's really one of the best tabs because you can go through the recipe library. So as far as like the daily challenge meal plan goes, I know a lot of people do different things with it. Like they look at the breakfast. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna take the recipe for breakfast and do my own thing for lunch. Like you don't feel like you're required to go through every single meal of the challenge. It's kind of what you want to make of it. But if you do want to do that, if you want to kind of go to the highest level of the challenge, following every single meal in the meal plan, they have great resources for that, like the shopping list. You just print it out and they tell you exactly what to get at the grocery store. Otherwise, you can just pick and choose, and they're all really great, delicious, healthy recipes. All right. I mentioned a couple minutes ago the meal service. So F45 still does this. It's through Trifecta here in the United States. If you're not really interested in like cooking your own meals, or you want to try out having like a meal service delivered to you, they do completely fresh, never frozen meals that are delivered in a box straight to your front door. It's not the exact same meals that are in the challenge app, but they're correlated. So you won't be eating the same exact things, but the breakfast, lunch, and dinners are all kind of, still the healthy meals, just different from the ones that are in the app every day. So if you're interested in that, you can find this at f45challenge.com, and you can get 30% off your first order. Okay, and thirdly here, one of the most second important tabs, I know they're all important, on the app here is the track tab. So within the app, we have a daily tracker. You can track how much you can track if you followed the meal plan, yes or no. You can track, did you do your workout? How much water did you drink? How much sleep did you do or get? I really, really recommend inputting this on a daily basis. It's a really easy way to kind of just check in with yourself at the end of every day. I usually do it right before I go to bed while it's still fresh in my mind. And it just feels like really accomplishing, like a big accomplishment to like look at the end of the week and be like, yes, I did all of them. There's also a tab at the end where you can like input your daily feedback. So it's a great place to kind of write some thoughts for the day, unless you want to save it for like the end of the week check-in. Secondly, they also have a BMR calculator, which is called your basal metabolic rate. If you do an in-body scan, that's going to be the number in the top right corner on your scan, and I'll show you that in a second. But they also have it in the app as well, where it's not as accurate in the calculator version, it's way more accurate if you're doing a body scan. But if you don't have access to a body scan, it's a great option to kind of get that basis for the number of calories you should be eating. Speaking of the basal metabolic rate right here, a little bit more information. It's the BMR is the number of calories that your body needs to consume every single day, even if it's it's the number of calories that your body will burn if you do no activity for that day. So like if you're just chilling on the couch, like you got to eat those calories because that's how many calories your body takes to exist. And so this is something that Gabby kind of walks through quite a bit on her consultations. So this is something that I would definitely, like, if you have questions on it, ask her about them because she definitely has a wide range of knowledge, more than I do on this. But they do say that the goal is for every single workout that you do to add about 500 or so calories. Oh yes, Anchi, visit the studio for body scans. Yes, it is a great reality check. All right, moving on here. Last tab here, we've got the Learn tab. It's a bunch of amazing recipes, articles, nutrition, really great articles on just everything that's challenge centric. So if you have, free time and you want to scroll through them, we also put them in the newsletter each week on ones that we've really liked. So you can just tune in there and see the ones that we like. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and click on that tab and you can read through the new ones that they put out like every day. Lastly, on the challenge app front, I wanted to talk about the nutrition package that we offer here at the studio. This is Gabby here on the right. She's our in-house nutritionist. She offers a fantastic nutrition package with along with the challenge. You get 45 days of guidance, meal plans. You also get your 3 in-body scans included, and you get weekly phone calls with her. So this is definitely like a more in-depth version of the consultations with her. And it's like with your body scans, you do get a consultation, but this is like taking it one step farther. One of our quotes here that I always love to share is from one of our challenge winners, Chelsea. She said, "I ate more, worked out less, and saw more results." That is as true as can be. Gabby is a wizard. Honestly, she just has a great knowledge of like looking at what people are eating, and she knows exactly how to kind of tweak and adjust their meal plan to get the results that you want. So if you guys are interested in this, let me know. We've kind of been blasting it out on social media everywhere. But if you're interested, you can also email me or Gabby. All right. Moving on here, guys, we'll kind of breeze through this next and last section of our orientation here. It's our pre-challenge to-do list. So if you're doing the challenge, which hopefully if you're watching this or you're tuning in, you are doing the challenge. But we're going to go through the list right here. These are the most important things. So if you were like half paying attention now's the time to pay attention. All right. So number 1, obviously F45 membership. Our challenge is for the members and it's free for members. So if you're not a member and you're watching this, email us. We'd love to have you a part of our community. We have 2 options. We have F45 Live, which is our online platform, and F45 Studio, which is now indoor outdoor. We have different packages and pricing for everything, so we can find something that works for you and your world. So if you'd like to sign up, shoot us an email right there. Secondly, we've got our team group me's. So like I said, we'll be announcing the team roster later today. We will email you guys and let you know which team you're on, either my team or Ashley's team. But the one thing that you're going to want to do first is download GroupMe. This is an app that we use to coordinate with each other and share tips and tricks and advice and lion heart points and all the things. It's honestly one of my favorite parts about the challenge because you really get to like meet new people and interact with everyone on a daily basis. And it's truly the best part. It's kind of been like since the last couple challenges, everyone says that it's their favorite part. So yes, download GroupMe, wait for the team roster to be sent out later today, and introduce yourself. Third, we have our weekly newsletter. So most of you are signed up for this already. It's that link in our Instagram bio. It's the link we've been blasting out everywhere. That is our official team roster. So please go sign up for that. If you need to find this link, let us know. It's also in our Instagram. So you can very easily go to the link in our Instagram bio, and it says sign up for Challenge 31. All right. So that Instagram bio is like where we host all the important things. So if you're ever looking for something, just go click there. Number 4, we've got our pre-challenge check-in. So guys, this is the new thing that I was saying with our weekly check-ins. We're also doing one in the beginning. This will also be in the email that we send out later this afternoon. We'll have all the checklists there. But we're doing a pre-challenge check-in form. We're going to ask you about your goals. We're going to ask you about what you want to achieve over the next 45 days. And if you're an F45 Live member, this is where you will enter in your body measurements. All right, it will all be in this form. This form is, I hate to use this word, but it's mandatory. We'd like for you to complete it just so that we know where you're at with your challenge, and we know you got your scan in, you got your photos in, you got your measurements in. So this link is also in our Instagram bio. So it's the second button down from the other one. And number 5, we've got our in-body scans. So this is kind of one of the most important parts of the challenge. And as Anchi said earlier, it's a bit of like a reality check. I know for a lot of people, for myself, every time I get one, you're like, oh, cool. They are required for involvement in the challenge, but they're also a great way to see results. Sometimes you can't just see the results in the mirror. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't feel like anything's changing. The in-body scans are a great way to see those like mini results, the micro results and the large results. They track your body fat, your muscle, your water, your everything in your body down to like your arms and your legs. So we have one of the scanners in the studio. So if you're a local member and you're able to come in for the body scans, we highly recommend. Again, as I mentioned, I'll get to that in a second. If you are an F45 Live member, I'll explain in one moment here. For the in-body scans, we recommend buying 3 of them so that you can do before, middle, and after. The before and after scans are the required ones. That middle one is just, it's recommended, but it's optional. The body scans look like this, by the way. So if you've seen this form, this should look familiar to you. It takes you through your weight, your skeletal muscle mass, everything you have inside of your body. And then that basal metabolic rate that I said earlier, it's right up here in this top right corner. And then again, a reminder on Gabby's personalized nutrition package. She'll take you through this whole scan, give you a little bit of a breakdown. Number 5 here, we've got our before and after photos. So on the right is an example of what we'd like for these photos to look like, except for don't chop out your toes. So head to toe, you can be in a swimsuit, you can be in underwear and a bra, bike shorts, whatever you feel comfortable in. These photos do not go anywhere anymore. We don't really use them on social media because we like to keep them just for you and for transformation purposes, just to be able to track over time. This is something, I know it's kind of weird to like take these photos, and if you're uncomfortable with it, please reach out to me and we'll talk about it. But even if you don't want to send them, we really recommend taking them. They're one of the best ways to see results and changes over time. And I know it can be a little scary, but it will help you at the end of the 45 days to see those changes. Again, these photos go to me and they go to in a locked folder. No one really looks at them but me when I'm looking at the end of the challenge. But again, if you have any concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right, and as I mentioned before, if you're an F45 Live member and do not have access to a body scan machine, body measurements are going to be the way to go. Those will be in the pre-challenge check-in form that is mandatory for everyone. You'll be doing your hips, chest, arms, legs, and waist, I think. So there's tips on the F45 blog for measuring yourself. If you're having any trouble though, just reach out to us. This is in lieu of the body scan. And if you're doing F45 live, it is a mandatory part of submitting your before and afters. Okay, so body scans, before and afters, the whole thing, those are all due to me on Friday, April 2nd. They will be sent to my email right here, vcase@f45training.com. You guys must submit the before and afters to be eligible for any prizes, like free training, like recovery sessions, gift cards. We give out a bunch of different things. So if you want to be a studio winner or receive any prizes, you've got to make sure you submit those before and afters. Okay, and that's all. It's a little longer than 20 minutes, but if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Or if anyone wants to say anything, say hey, or has any questions on anything, feel free to unmute yourself.
Hey, Tori, thanks so much for hosting this. Two kind of quick questions for you. One, from a diet perspective, like from the nutrition perspective, if we're looking, like I've been looking at the meal plans, they're pretty intense. And it's like a lot of cooking for sure. If we're looking to like try to stick generally to them, but like maybe need some flexibility, should we just be looking like generally keep like the macros similar, like protein, starch, like what's your kind of best recommendation there?
So that's a great question, because I think that's one of the first things they look at the app and they're like, oh God, I can't commit to this. Yeah. So I know it's a little overwhelming, and what we always recommend for people is find recipes that are similar in caloric breakdown. So like you said, that are similar macros, similar carbs, and kind of mimic them, and like find a couple key recipes that work really well for you and just sub those in. You know, everything is super flexible in this program. You can stick to all the challenge meals and all the ones that they have in the app, or you can just find a couple key ones and swap in and out. The challenge app, I personally like to use it as a guide and like a layout and a place to find new healthy recipes. So kind of using it more as a resource than something I have to like strictly follow.
Totally. Cool. Thanks so much. And then second question, where would we find like more information and pricing on Gabby's nutrition program? Would I email you for that?
Yeah, go ahead and email me. It's $250 for the whole 45 days. And that'll get you 6 weeks, like weekly phone consultations, 45 days of like kind of getting to text and chat with Gabby. And she really is, I mean, she's there like the whole time. And you also get your body scans, the 3 body scans included in that. So just so everyone else knows, the 3 body scans together are a $90 value. And then the whole nutrition package is $250. So if you're able to kind of like budget that extra, like, what is that, like $160, I highly recommend it, because having the nutrition aspect of the challenge, having someone kind of guide you, especially if it's newer to you, it's been a game changer for a lot of our previous challengers. So if you guys are interested in that, just drop me an email and I'll set you up with Gabby.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Tori, Coach Anchi here. I wanted to, for Aaron's questions, and I guess everybody here, their first time here, like Tori said, that app is an awesome tool to guide you. I've been using that ever since I've been introduced to this, franchise as a guide. So even if you have a day when, oh, what am I going to eat today? What am I going to cook today? It's a great idea. Oh, I can combine chickpeas and a piece of, chicken. I can, so very just simple guide when you are simply even out of ideas. And then, go to it with an open mind, because you also don't want to restrict yourself. Of course, we are all people, human with jobs. You're not going to have everything in your fridge every day, right? Of course, you're going to carefully plan for it. But, if the idea is piece of chicken and handful of veggies, well, just carefully plan that you maybe substitute that protein with a different kind of meat, maybe, whether like today, I'm actually just cooking my lunch. Today, I'm eating a piece of salmon. tomorrow maybe piece of tilapia, the next day is going to be piece of chicken, kind of lean meats, right? So kind of that idea, as long as you stick to the overall good idea of combining these types of macros and micros, then you should be good. So don't be kind of afraid to even approach it with the like, oh my God, how am I going to cook this? Like, trust me, you eat similarly, I hope, kind of every day. You're just going to kick out a lot of junk if you do in your diet, right? A lot of refined sugars, things like that. So don't be afraid of that, don't limit yourself that you have to exactly eat that kind of meal, right? But be smart how you're combining and substituting for what they're trying to suggest to you.
Awesome, really helpful. It brought up a follow-up question. Someone had mentioned to me about like alcohol and coffee and about how those play in. Are those like off limits, or is it like a recommendation? Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. That definitely, it's kind of up to you and what you want to do. In the past, they've actually said like no alcohol, no sugar, but they're trying to like, the challenge is not supposed to be this like restrictive beast. It's supposed to like set you up for long-term success. And for a lot of people, like they're not able to just cut something out for 45 days, or it's not mentally healthy for them, which I personally like, I have a hard time cutting things out completely for me. So kind of take it in stride. We have a lot of our members who they do make the choice to cut out alcohol for 45 days, especially some who've done a lot of challenges and they haven't like seen the results they wanted to. They're like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm cutting out the alcohol. Because at the end of the day, we all know like that would help. But if it's something that you feel drawn to doing, I definitely say go for it. And like a lot of the other challengers do it. So like we're all there to support it the whole time. But I personally like to recommend like viewing it with a challenge lens. Like I'm on the challenge. Do I really need to drink this right now? Or I'm on the challenge. Can I opt for something a little bit leaner and healthier? Can I do like a vodka water, or like rather than a big sugary drink? And then, again, it's just kind of what you think will work for you, but what will last you long term. That's on the alcohol standpoint. On the caffeine standpoint, same thing goes. They have recommended in the past on the previous challenges to cut it out for the first like 15 days, just so your body can reset. I do somewhat recommend that, but as a personal coffee lover, I have a hard time doing that part of it. But I'll cut mine down from like 2 coffees a day to 1. So again, it's on kind of like on a basis of, do you feel like you need it? Or like if you're drinking like 6 cups a day, it's like maybe cut it down, but don't erase it. So.
Got it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Tori, I know you said that
Hey, Hillary.
How are you?
Good to meet you, by the way.
You too, I know. You said like the photos obviously aren't shared publicly, and the body scans too. Is that information just kept between?
Right. Everything goes to obviously my email address, and it gets put in like a locked folder. No one else sees it. It's just for the purpose of accountability for you all, and it's also at the end of the challenge, we can see the results between before and after.
I'm like excited for it, but super nervous. Like I am not ready for whatever those numbers are gonna say.
I know, I get it, but it's like once you get over that hurdle, everything's in the open. You're like, okay, we've got the numbers. Go from there.
Show lots of room for improvement.
Right. I feel you. Like it's step 1. Like ever since like step 1, it's gonna get better. So. But I do highly recommend the body scans. I'm glad that you're able to get them because it is really interesting to see where, like, first of all, your numbers, if you've never gotten one before, to know what your body fat percentage is, but also to track over time, like your arms and your legs and how it changes. And it's cool.
Yep. Definitely signed up for those. I've got mine scheduled for Sunday. So see how it goes.
I'm excited for everyone. I got to get my body scan too.
Go team.
Go team. Oh, how much are body scans? So body scans are $30 each, but they include a consultation. So you'll get like a 10 or so minute consultation with Gabby to kind of walk you through the scan. There's body scan packages, which we always recommend the packages just because you'll need more than one for the challenge. You'll need the one in the beginning and the end, and then the middle one is optional.
Yeah, so then each body scan comes down to $25 value if you go for a package, for example, right? So it's a little better deal.
All right. Does anybody have any more questions?
Great
Nope.
job, Tori, as usual.
I'm good.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for being here today. We got a small but mighty crew. Hopefully, y'all who are watching this, the recording, please email me if you have any questions. My inbox is open. You guys flood me with emails. I'm ready to handle any questions. I'm super excited to start on Monday. Please take the next few days to kind of like get yourself settled. Download the challenge app, take those photos, get your scans, email those to me, and just wait for an email with the rest of the details, and we'll get you guys ready to go on Monday. All right, y'all. Book your sessions too. Book your sessions. That's a big one. All right, y'all. You guys have a great day. Thanks.
Thanks, Tori.
Bye.
Bye now.